Hi, can you hear me? Hey, good to see you.
Yeah, I hear you.
How are you? Sorry for the extremely slow connection.
That's okay.
How are you? Are you in Egypt?
I am. I am.
That's super cool. So I guess that it might be better if we just chat everything online as we're a little bit late. Just to update you for the time, we will do like half an hour live on Facebook, and then we will close the live and we will do another 5 minutes only with three questions just dedicated to you. I will guide so you have an idea. Let me see if I can connect.
Okay, that's cool.
So I'll go live on Facebook and I will see if I can share from my wall to yours, or otherwise you should be able to do it. It depends on the setting. Sometimes I can, sometimes I cannot. Let me see. Well, if the Zoom was very slow, alone imagine for Facebook. It's gonna happen. What happened to your computer?
The part where the cable, the power goes into the side of the computer, it like broke off.
Oh,
I can just get someone to open it and like pick out the piece that got stuck in there. Otherwise, I don't know if they have to replace the whole part or something. So,
but it should be possible to just
they,
take it out, right? I
uh,
guess.
yeah, I think so.
Did you move for good to Cairo, or you're staying for some time? Or do you know at
Uh,
least?
I would say we're gonna stay for like 2 months and then reevaluate like where we're at and what's going on and all that good stuff.
Okay, that's cool. Are you staying at Mona's?
Yeah, I'm in one of the rooms you may have been in or stayed in or
Oh, nice. Is it bearably hot or is it already cooking pot Cairo?
yeah, it's
Are you still hearing me? Because I lost you for...
yeah.
Ah, okay, you hear me. Cool. We're almost there. Okay. Let's see if we can see it right in the wall. Send greetings to Mona when you see her from my side.
Yeah, I will. I will.
Oh, okay, perfect. We are live. So I'll try to share on your. Apparently, I cannot share at friends' walls anymore. So maybe you can go on and share it either now or after if you want to your profile. They changed again the settings apparently.
Yeah.
Anyway, when was the last time we talked? It was more than a year ago, I think, right? Can you hear me?
Oh, we had a little bit of a delay there. Go ahead. We
Ah,
just
sorry.
missed the last.
I was just wondering when was the last time we talked? Was it? It was more than a year and a half. It was a year and a half ago, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah, I'd say a year and a half, 2 years ago, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I'm really curious to know where you are at right now, personally and also professionally. But just to start a bit, I would love you to say a little bit more about how would you describe yourself in this specific moment in time. Sort of who is Brett right now?
Who's Brett right now on this specific? Um.
Give me 1 second. Oh, no. Go on.
mhm.
You know, we're good. You're good. I
Okay.
thought he was not recording. Please go on. I'm really curious to hear you.
I think at this time I'm really feeling into the space of what some of my or people I know would call conscious evolution. Um, I think other people might call it the great work, if you want to kind of put it in a magical or alchemical framework. Of course, there's many different ways to describe kind of the hero's journey, whatever, a lot of different things. I'm really feeling excited about being in the thick of that process on two levels. One level being incarnating and playing a role and playing the games here in this reality, whatever word you want to use, and then also coming from the cultivating the sort of infinite awareness that I feel most that space. So the um, the inner work is really all has driven all of our the groups that I've been part of or whatnot has driven our ideas of production or what we want to bring into the world. So we're um, deeply committed, really, to to the to ultimately the chaotic, which is chaos and order together. You know, to living in the chaotic, and we're also deeply committed to the chaos side of the process, which most people have trouble adjusting to or participating in because of its nature. Um, so yeah, I'm enjoying that whole process. I'm enjoying my create. So therefore, I'm enjoying myself, right? You know, like I'm enjoying myself, which goes in many directions. So I'll leave it there and toss it back to you before I say anything else. But that's what's most alive for me, the actual like journey compared to a destination. And if you're into the gene keys at all, like just having an interesting week, also reflecting on my gene keys for people out there that are into that.
I love hearing story and seeing how each one of us is practically merging the inner work with the outer work. And there's a word
Myself as what I would call a spiritual philanthropist, which doesn't mean the word spiritual in front of the word philanthropy as an adjective. I wrote a two-page like statement of what spiritual philanthropy means to me, which was really that we live in a holographic type of reality where the more you give, the more you receive, and that there's a lot of different ways to contribute to things, and that really we're investing in consciousness itself. So I don't really care too much about return on things. Even return on impact is boring to me personally. So I made ROI to the power and degree of my I, like my true self, that self that you find at the end of the hero's journey or that you go through the great work for. That's I want to have a realized that eternal stand for imagination and intention. So it was very much energetic, and it was much more about realization, which also then leads to transcendence really as well, which is interesting. What I'm saying is I always like to transcend and include things and be like on the cutting edge. So I can't be an entrepreneur in any sense of the word and how it relates practically to the world as it has, because it has so much to do with materialism and capitalism, which I'm not really saying are bad. I'm just kind of entrepreneurialism and what its context is in. It's hard to take it out of that context in a way and have it mean something else. But I think it can be most high frequency some people way. And that to me is what a spiritual entrepreneur would do, is that if they're going to work in the realms of interaction and exchange and stores of value and economics and things like that, if they're going to play in that realm, that what I call a finite game, then do it with the highest, like Carlos Castaneda, magical abilities, be a wizard. Because for me, that is a stepping stone or a portal into the world that I want to live in, the world I generally focus on realizing, which is a world beyond transaction and a world beyond returns and expectations. So it may or may not be a world beyond money. That's not really the point. The point is that it's a gift giving, resource based holographic economy where technology and service to the heart, breeds a new type of philanthropist. So for me, spiritual philanthropist, just to bring it back in circle, spiritual philanthropist and a co-creator are two of the things I kind of identify with. But I have a lot of archetypal energy, of course, around entrepreneurialism. So I'm always up to like finding a better and better bridge between the two because I used to be more wounded by money and business. But I did also learn things that most people don't learn because of the way I lived my life and because I wasn't involved in that system. I could observe it highly independently with an inquiring mind and as a sensitive being. I dropped out of kind of the normal life when I was 19. So for 26 years, I've been in the space that a lot of us have as an outsider, looking in and observing systems. And that's why a lot of us have such meta perspectives or whole systems orientation, because in one way or another, we've stepped out of the common zeitgeist of the world that we've been brought up in. Yeah. Thanks for listening
Thank you
to the
for
question.
this new two types of approaches actually, and in identities that they keep moving anyway. I really love also to create new ones because it's impressive to see how many connotations all the old ones have. So we keep them both and let's see how they will continue evolving. I remember back then when we first got in contact that I was really impressed by what you're creating actually. So I would like to give it a little bit of time and tell me where are you right now? Because I guess like after a year and a half, it has evolved quite a lot. So I'm personally interested actually to know where you are. And that's why I wrote you. Also, I'm like, oh, where is Brett? What are they doing? Because we were talking back then for collaboration, but in the end, many things changed from our side. But I would love to see where you are now. So how are you? And tell me a little bit of how it is working also now, because it's a system that is truly interesting to the way it has been built, actually.
Yeah, right on. Thanks, Aliki. I would say somewhere around the time we would have last spoken, maybe a little bit after that. I had a bit of I was basically just starting to think it years since I went down this kind of path and rabbit hole, learning about like whole systems thinking and software design and social architecture and a lot of these new subjects that were new to me as specialties. Like I was able to get into them because I'm curious and because I'm kind of naturally intelligent and inquisitive. And I was a generalist, so I knew a little about a lot of different things. So it's not hard for me to learn something new, especially concepts and academic kind of things. So after 8 years, I realized I still had something like deeper in my heart that I wanted to express. And basically, we've been working on a design, so the living experiences that inform that for a co-creation vehicle or a co-creation platform. It's hard for me to put into an elevator pitch or one word because it's ultimately, as Arthur C. Clarke said, sufficiently advanced technologies will be indistinguishable from magic. So when I say technologies, first of all, I mean internet technologies, social technologies, spiritual technology, word technology. Um, quite quite impressive, like the synergy of virtual technology with new governance systems, with spiritual evolution, all of these different things, entertainment, as they evolve together, that creates quite a new phenomenon, a synergy between all of those mediums and all of those technologies. So um, I decided I wanted the last scene of a 2015 movie called Tomorrowland, um, which I recommend everyone check out. Like, not the movie, but literally the last 3 minutes in a vacuum. And when I saw those last 3 minutes, I was like, yes, I'm gonna make a sequel to this movie's last 3 minutes, but I don't want to make it just on a screen. I want it to be an immersive, interactive, living, whatever the words are. You know, like, why would it just be in a movie theater portraying an awesome future with fake cities and fake technologies just to provide a projection of a dream? Like, why wouldn't we like use that, the vehicle of filmmaking, like regenerative filmmaking and all these different mediums, and go beyond transmedia to transmediums, like the medium of governance, the medium of physics, all of these different things. I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to have our whole system platform. I want to do the narrative side of it, you know, or like the social fractal impact entertainment, because all of our systems are biomimicry and, you know, fractal and this and that and the other thing. So I came up with what I call Togetherland, the combination of the Together Life System and Tomorrowland. So I've been focused on developing the concept architecture for Togetherland, which includes this regenerative filmmaking, transmedia production.
Like, what is igniting your own passion? Because it's a quite big ecosystem, as I understand and I have seen, different tools and different processes. So what would be, if you had to choose one, what would be what you couldn't take out of? No chance.
Well, you're right. As all of our work goes, it's a massively ambitious planetary scale offering, and it can only work with the coordination eventually at scale, you know, millions, hundreds, hopefully millions, billions, etc. So it is very big. I created a role for myself because I was looking at together a festival and a circus. And then I started thinking about the showman. There was that movie, you know, the P.T. Barnum was the famous circus. He created the greatest show on earth. And I started thinking, wow, I've kind of got some of that energy as again, the Gene Keys, I'm a heart marketer in the Gene Keys. So I started looking up alternate reality games because I was looking up gamification and I liked the premise. But alternate reality games have something called puppet masters. Um, so I was looking at that, and because I like to play with words and all that, I was like, I want to do more than an alternate reality game. So I want to do this infinite game based on James Carse's and the meme and the out there about infinite games and all that. And then I finally looked up the word ringmaster, and what the job of the ringmaster was sort of to be like this politician and this person who would speak in hyperbole and basically, you know, celebrate and sell all of the different acts in the circus. Like, oh, look at this! This is amazing! The strongest man alive. And over here, you know, the trapeze artist, and over here there's the lions. And it's like, I was like, that's what I do. Like, in my own way, I'm like this kind of marketeer, P.T. Barnum, like politician, journalist. Like, that's what I've loved doing over the years more than actually telling the story, and being like a journalist meets a director meets an actor. So at the moment, I'm kind of wearing all the hats. So, and I like performing, I guess. I mean, I'm extroverted, you know, I'm a speaker. Like, I like to perform. I love to talk. To me, talking is doing. You know, people have this false dichotomy that when you're philosophizing or creating metaphysics or you're talking like this, that we're not doing, which is really unfair, silly, and ignorant. Like, we're generating creativity right now. There's people watching this that their neurons are entangled with our thoughts because they're being excited to think something. You know, you're having new thoughts, I'm having thoughts. Like, it's amazing, like, what's happening right here and now in that sense. So I'm a ringmaster basically for Togetherland. And for me, my job is to find other ringmasters to be like the core group, like you're doing with your warriors, to hold the space with me and find the other talent and the funding and manifest the other things, because I'm not going to build the sets and I'm not going to build the blockchain. I'm going to content, like you're saying. I like to produce content. So I'm starting like the small the low-hanging fruit is we have this place here that you've been to on the roof. So I want to start producing like really quality film show where I do interviews and there's music, like Conan O'Brien, if you're from America, anyone, like a late night show with David Letterman. But I'm going to do that from like a new perspective, and I can do that with a small team. The thing I'm looking at is like, how do I create like 7 episodes, with an awesome stage upstairs and like activated VR, but that's where I'm at because there's a planetary scale vision, but I want to start with like producing this first content. And in that role, I'm producer, director, like star. Like I don't like camera work. I don't like editing. I suck at those things, and they're really important. Costume design, like creative set design. That, like I can do some of that, but I don't. Like you're saying, where would it be without me? It's like co-producing, co-directing, and then sometimes being a co-star because I can live in. I can model what I'm asking people to do, and if that's what I need to do, like be an actor, like in order to inspire people, then I guess that's what I'll do because really underneath it, I'm looking to inspire people, to follow their bliss, basically, as
What you
Joseph Campbell said.
First of all, I really love when people start talking about what they love doing because even their voice changes. And what you're saying actually reminds me a lot of a comment that I got from Michelle that you met in the Warriors team. That she was telling me that like I can see that there's important to have specific fields, specific spaces that we can just test ideas and concepts in a safer environment with people that will understand more easily before taking them into the bigger public. So we're able to just really keep testing. And I feel that people who know how to bridge and put parts together, it's very easy to create this collage, this puzzle that sometimes if the parts are working alone, they will have a lot of difficulties, but when they're plugged in, it can really create a big leap to all the parts. And I feel that both of us we're in this space practically of just bringing parts together. And you are now in Cairo, right? Did you move for that? How do you feel the field of creativity there? Did you move for that reason? Did you feel it was a more fertile soil, or was it other reasons that are bringing you there?
I There's a bit of a different natural timing here, like east, west, whatever that is. Like it's the same. It's similar to me in Mexico as well, actually. Like things happen at a different pace here so
Yeah,
far. I've noticed.
that's true.
Um, Also here at the Together Hub or Temple where you were, this area of Cairo is also, I think, heavily in expats. So this area feels very like familiar in a way, and a lot of people speak English, which is not necessary, but it's nice
Hmm.
that I can kind of get around that. This section of Cairo also, I think, has more green than most down the streets. Um, like little vacuum of a place is great and perfect, and there's a lot of relationships that Mona has been cultivating and developing. So there's a lot of really amazing people and talent around. Like we have, we're going to try to produce some shows where we have dinner, like rooftop dinner conversations where we bring change agents. And there's people that can provide like sponsor with organic food. There's people here that do VR and AR. So for us, we haven't been in physically with Mona. My wife Andrea and I and Mona have worked together in a small group for a few years, but we haven't been physically together for really like a couple years. So we're in a new chapter of sort of recohering, reconnecting, and have our project go through its own iteration and evolution. But the future feels really like alive and bright here as far as like the different skill sets that are here and the alignment of everyone's personal journeys. So it's getting really juicy right now. We'll see what happens.
I do feel it's a very interesting field right now in Egypt, in comparison to many other European countries, at least. And just before we start wrapping up slowly, I would like to ask you, in this specific stage that you are, what would you need? Like, what would you need to grow further? What would you need as a support to be able to thrive and to continue doing what you're doing? because we always talk about the gifts, we always talk about what we are bringing into the world, and many of us are having a very big difficulty to actually ask for the support that they need. That's why I always conclude with this question, because I would like to know what is there to be covered, and sometimes there do appear things on my way that can be shared.
Of course. Yeah. The first word that came to my mind was opportunity. So I think I need opportunities, and it would stretch across a couple like main titles, like opportunities to bring the most impactful, pinpointed total of my like experience in the new paradigm and building new paradigms. Like I'd like to be able to consult and teach and guide and like mentor, all those things. There's not one word for it. Coach. I'm happy to put any, if people had to like put a name on it, that's fine. And maybe I need to for the whole branding thing. It's just not my style yet. But like it's something like a dojo for co-creation where I've got a black belt now in co-creation. And when I say co-creation, I don't just mean like we have the same vision, so let's collaborate. I mean something way deeper than that. And like, of course, I've got many more black belts to go, but I feel like I've also turned a corner where it's like you do your 10,000 hours of something and then maybe you're a genius. So I'm not really putting that label on myself. I'm just saying I feel really a certain point and I've put in a certain amount of devotion and effort. And there's a lot that I can share with spiritual entrepreneurs, spiritual philanthropists, creative people, change agents, whatever, that I can really to make the most of that 3 weeks at a time, or 7 day retreats, or starting a business. I don't want to do that. I want to like find opportunities to really like bring that and really package stuff and like help people really like in the moment or whatnot, or like be able to hop in like when it's like an emergency or something. So opportunities to do that. I would split that into one A and B. Like some opportunities to do that where I get paid would be awesome, because then I can fund my bigger project myself without doing like philanthropy, reaching out or creating a token. I'm not opposed to any of those things. They're all the different options that are out there. But mainly I want to like refine my wizardry, so the day comes when one or more people come up to me and simply say, I'm happy to support you as a patron. I get you, I see you, which we've had experiences of, by the way. So I'm not, this is another, philanthropy is real. These are people around me who have given us travel or gotten married or given us healing or given us money. Like they do whatever they can in whatever position they're in. So I'm just going to keep working in a situation where money is not, and until it's not, I'd like to find creative aligned ways to fund my project. Basically, it's all about funding the dream more than I need an income or a salary. It's like I want to have more impact and ability to access things. So obviously, hand in hand with that goes with opportunities to work and co-create with the type of skilled people I need. I either pay them because I have my own funds, or we work together because we see the bigger value coming. It's always emerging how that works, because none of us will compromise our vision really, and none of us also want to play the martyr role where we're just on the streets with no good relationships and have what we need. So we've all been learning. I'm sure you would probably resonate with that. How to dance with the world as it is, and as we make our way to the next iteration of the planet itself.
Thank
So
you so much.
opportunities to give my gifts, to receive funding, and work with highly skilled people in some of the areas that I would need to take my next steps. Yeah.
Thank you for that, and I will keep it there, because I know that your abilities to actually activate different types of co-creations are very inspiring ones. So I'm guessing that some people on our way will need just this trigger, the specific turning points that you just need to go the untraditional way, but something that we can also really be applied. So thank you for that. And I would just like to see if there's anything that you would like to share as for closing.
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to reconnect with you this way, where I could share. I love the internet, you know? I love the many to many possibilities and how we can be a collective in this way, even though we're our unique self symphony, that we're all these expressions. So thank you for shining with me today. And no, I would just wish everyone out there an awesome day or night wherever they are, and to find out what makes you come alive and go do that. Because what the world needs, as Howard Thurman said, is more people that have come alive.
I love this
I'll leave you
advice.
with.
And
I'll
thank you
leave
so
with that.
much for our talk. Stay on the call. I will just go off live and then we continue here.
Okay.
Thank you, Brett, for that. Let me just stop the recording.